father he wasn't blind, but he had very bad eyesight all his life, and his father was a bit not very nice about it, put basically. So it gave my father a complex about it.
Was this something you had from birth?
Yeah.
So
and it was only very, very much later in life that it was discovered that apart from, obviously much later in life, he had macular degeneration, he had astigmatism, there were various things that could have been rectified, but he didn't go because his father more or less told him, well, that's it, you're going to go blind and that's it. And I've always been very aware of it because my eyesight's not good, and generally in our family. But I often think back to, if only my father had had the opportunities. He was a very determined person. He did all the sport under the sun. It wasn't going to hold him back.
So what was his father's problem? Did he see him as not a fully not the boy he'd wanted sort of thing?
I think so. My father was one, like so many families, he was one of 10. I think he was the eldest son as well. And there was one daughter.
Oh, wow.
She was the youngest. And my father, being the eldest, had to be tops. And my grandfather was in the army, and he was quite high up in the army, and expected all his family to be exactly like him.
Perfect, yeah.
And in one tale that he did, apparently with them all, when they were all very close together, but I think it's obviously the elder ones. At one stage, my grandfather apparently parked them all at Weymouth, including my grandmother, while he went off in the army all over the place, doing places. And he took all the elder ones out in a boat, a mile out, and chucked them all over and said, right, swim back. And they all had to swim back.
Oh my word.
And my father was the only one who really made it. The others were all had to be rescued. I worked at West End College as a librarian for many years, and while I was there, my mother had died, and my father was 80. And I knew as a child he was very good at drawing. He was an engineer. Even though his eyes were bad, he was an engineer. And he used to draw things, and I used to say, I said, come up to West Dean and try a course, I'm sure you can paint. Well, it was a revelation to him.
Oh.
He was absolutely amazing.
Did he paint?
Yeah.
Landscapes or?
Oh, fantastic landscapes. Absolutely brilliant.
Oh.
And he really took off.
Yeah.
And
so how did he do that then?
Well, he could see enough. I mean, I didn't realise just how bad the eye situation was, but he could see enough. And I met other people, looking around here, who can paint, who are, virtually blind.
Yeah, very proficient.
Yeah. And I think too, I mean, I do a bit of painting. I've always sort of been very aware, thinking, if only he'd had the opportunities. But, I mean, he survived, he was a survivor, he was that generation.
I actually trained as a social worker in Hertfordshire, and it was in the early 1980s, and interestingly enough, it was at the beginning of the Community Care Act. So as far as social work was concerned, it was a whole new era and a different style of social work that I had the fortune to come in at the beginning of, so I had known nothing else. And I worked with older people and with people with physical disabilities all of my career for 20 odd years. And we didn't really work with visually impaired people because there was a designated department, but it was small, and I worked with occupational therapists, so seeing all the equipment and the things that could be done, and talking books, and we were involved quite a lot in getting the equipment out and so on. And if you think about now and the difference that technology has made in that which seems quite a short period, it's quite revealing, really.
A lady, again, she painted. She's amazing, and she really couldn't see anything. Just barely get out of the car and that sort of thing. And somebody, it sounds awful, but don't get me wrong. You'll understand in a minute. Nobody really liked her, and I think it's because she had a tremendous chip on her shoulder. Because she wasn't a pretty woman. She was very small, and she'd gone blind over a period of years, not when she was young, but she had this chip on her shoulder for obvious reasons. and nobody could really approach her. It was very difficult to approach her. And I got to know her just by chance, sort of running her back and forth to this painting class. And I realised then, I thought, well, you know, it made me really think, yeah, as you say, the inner person, you only see the outside. She's living through hell. And everybody else is against her as far as she was concerned. And she didn't want to be like that. You know, she didn't want to give that impression. And it made me feel so guilty of thinking, makes me think I didn't really like you. You know? But, you know, it's... And I think with a lot of people, I don't know about you, I've not been involved in any mental health or anything like that, but I do wonder too, there's a lot more for people now, more help. You know, when you think only sort of, correct me if I'm wrong, sort of 30 years ago, there wasn't half the help that people can get now. People aren't afraid to find help more. I may be wrong, but this is...
He was born in Ireland and a policeman in Ireland, and then in the Troubles, I think, he got blinded 1922. That's when he lost his eyes, and he came over to St Dunstan's because they didn't have, well, I don't think so, but I don't think they had actually sort of blind places like St Dunstan's was. So I think he talked into the police saying, you know, well, get me over there and I'll learn whatever I need to do. And that's what happened. And that's where he met my nan, because she was working there. And yeah, he was completely blind.
Was this in a bomb attack or something?
Yeah. But he died when I was 5. But I have very, very fond memories of him. And he was a really naughty man as well, because he'd take my sister and I for a walk down the park, he said, you know, to his wife, and then he would go into the betting shop with him, and he would put, I don't know how much it was on the horse, and if it won, we were all treated to lots of things, and if he didn't win, he said, don't tell me. And we grew up like that, so that was quite intriguing, to be honest, that he got away with it. When I was about 4.5, just before he died, he'd take me along, he said, talk to me, tell me what's going on out there. And he said, what's the colour of the sky, what, you know, traffic is like, and we'd wander around the park and, oh, I can hear a dog, what breed is that? And actually that was, to be honest, that's what I really loved about seeing him. And he lived, I don't know, no more than 600 yards away from where we lived anyway, so we used to go there most days. And I just used to really love it. I said, oh, sun's out today, and just, you know, nonsense really, but he just really loved it, and I just really liked telling him all about it, to be honest. And he was very, you could turn his hand to most things actually, but no, he was a really good man, really lovely.